Morning all, let's have another 15-minute game this morning. So while we're waiting, have a look at what's titled player game, maybe. Gile, I am Gile. It's going to prepare G4, I guess. King F5 and G4 coming in. So C4 is a bit vulnerable here. Except for the king, I think. Oh! Okay. So jema 2078. Can I try gambit F3? Just for fun. I know there's E5, that could spoil the fun a bit. Maybe D5 then, in that case. If bishop G4 is knight E5, that'd be a bit of a blunder. Bishop G4. Okay. So queen E2 and castle queen side. Looks like a bit of fun. Warzone-ish. Like playing bullet or 2-minute tournaments. Okay. Still, it looks like an active position. The pieces look kind of fun. Knight E5, you can just... No, he can't take. Or can he? No, he can. D takes, knight D5. Blocking the default. And there's King B1 here. Just to avoid any issue with G5 for a moment. There's knight C3 on the card now. That wasn't that clever. So knight takes C3, but on the other hand, that might not be such a big deal. So he hasn't actually gone in for that. In fact, if I just play bishop B3 here, invite that. Play like knight E5 soon, rook F1, knight E5. Can I use the B file? King A1, rook B1. Knight E5 actually looks like an idea with rook F1. That might be G4. So knight E5 here. Taking this rook D8. What about just queen E5? Just to keep pressure going. Then rook F1, threatening rook F5. Or even G4 off the pawn sack. Rook G1, dangerous. So bishop G6, H4, that keeps the rook on H1. I don't really want the exchange of queens, so queen E3 I think. I suppose black could be playing for E5, so I might have to... No, not yet. Unless e5 here. What about rook f1 just threatening g4? Also, rook f3, just double up rooks. Rook f3. A little bit on c2. What about just h3 here? Or even g4, just g4. Bishop e4. Rook g1. The thing is, bishop d5 is coming up. Rook f4, there's queen g2. Unless I double up rooks there, or just rook f2 here. Bishop e4, then double up rooks there. That might be the best. Rook f3 actually has rook g3 though as well. So actually rook f3, bishop e4, rook g3. Queen moves to f5. There's rook g5 there. So I think I'll go for that. Off at g2. Try and get in this rook g3, or rook f1 and rook g3. Aha! So rook g3 here, queen h7 seems a bit awkward. Once your queen f6, rook f1, there's bishop c2 check, winning the rook. I think rook g3 anyway. Just not rook f1, maybe king b2. Okay. Okay, now rook f1. So there might be a rook f5 on the cards, queen e7. Rook f5, queen e7. How does he protect? I think g6. So a4 is a bit of a problem here, and c2 is a bit of a problem. It's battery. So a4, just for a moment. b5, king. I'm going to lose c2, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Unless rook f2 for a moment. a4, bishop c4 to d3. Yeah, let's go for that. So a4, bishop c4 to d3. Queen e5, if I want to stop queen f5, is threaten rook f5 without queen f5 because of queen g7. Takes. Still not useful. Right, time to play a4 at a3. a3 doesn't look too tempting. But maybe it's best to try and target c6. Keep the bishop kind of not in prison. Looks like he's protecting c2 from there. I mean, that queen is not ideal on h7, surely. Pardon me. Okay, so what's the plan here? Something like takes, rook check, king c1 doesn't look too terrible because the queen is like misplaced over there, surely. And in fact, Queen E5 would mean B8's a bit tactically liable. It's going in for it. I think over here it's got King D2 rather than corner on the check. So, check King C1, Queen E5, putting pressure on G7, but I don't know, I'm not breaking open any lines here. There's nothing to write home about yet. Rook F5 takes, don't know, nothing. Seems my biggest threat after Rook B8 check is actually just to snatch the pawn, but then he's got past the A pawn. He's got past the A pawn anyway. Here it's just blockaded, but two rooks on the queen, kind of pointing at the king while the F and G files. What is happening now? H4, H5. Would that help in any way, shape, form? Rook F3. Okay, no, he's coming to D5. Okay, he's protected C6. Rook F4, slow bishop C2, bishop D5, rook G4, G6. That could be handy to force G6. If F5, then maybe just taking the pawns look shattered and bishop C6, pick up E4. So bishop D5, rook Fg4, G6 looks grim for the queen. F5 looks kind of grim as well because of takes and bishop C6. Bishop D5, rook Fg4. G5, H4, F5, winning the rook, forcing a rook sack, rook G5, take, no King H8, but imagine King F7, then I'm in trouble. So maybe H4 is actually very useful here before G5 happens. Is that strictly true? Otherwise, rook G4, G5, H4, there's F5. Play H4 first. It's a big improvement. F5 next, but Queen E5, and then that's a good place for the queen. So there. G5, H4, F5. Unless in that position it really is clear, take, King F8 or King F7, and then there's nothing. So I think H4 first. Preparing rook Fg4. Accepting the fact F5, maybe Queen E5 does weaken E5. C4 is also an idea. Bishop C4, bishop C6. So really I want this without G5 actually, so rook Fg4 without G5. So F5, Queen E5. F5, Queen E5. Actually I'm eyeing B8. If that helps. Rook B1 seems harmless. It wasn't looking very big for that. I wasn't going to mention it. It seems so trivial to threaten Rook B1 because King D2, but I suppose maybe Rook B. I don't know. The bishop's protecting C2. So Rook Fg4. Is there Queen F5 or something? Check and then Queen H6 looks dangerous. I can't believe Queen F5 is the defence here. So I'm going to play this. Maybe the idea was to offer C6. But I'm not interested in C6, really. I'm interested in the king. So the interesting line here is Queen F5 to try and get to my king. Rook B1, King D2. Yes. So Queen F5. Am I in trouble? Rook G7. There's no King H8, there's King F8. In that position, maybe Rook F3. And then I'm on F7. Two rooks for the Queen. If he takes on F3 and takes on G7. The move I missed. G6. And there's Queen E5 here. It's Queen G7. Or just H5, there's G5. There's Rook G5 there. Takes. Actually, I'm picking up D8. So I think H5 is possible. Picks up D8 after G5. With King H8, Queen F6. This wasn't good tactically. It loosens. There's a loose rook on D8 here. Could be a losing weakness. Now, bishop's away from the king, the rook's away from the king. Crude to double rooks in front of a pawn, usually a breakthrough with pawns, but here a breakthrough with a rook to sacrifice a rook. Looks pretty strong. If F5, rook G6 looks grim. Although he is protecting E6 from A2. He or she, Gemma. Okay. So what happens here? So I use that energy trying to work out the best possible defence for anticipation. So I just wait for the move and then work it out from there. Ooh. Okay. HG first. Take Queen E5. Looks strong. Queen E5 first. F6 there's Rook G6. King F8. Again, HG looks crushing. FG Rook G6. Numerous threats there. So actually Queen E5. Queen E5 first. Looks great for the queen. It's central. It's about to spring into F6. F6 seems to be ruled out because of Rook G6. Also there's Queen C7 just to win a rook if F6. So King F8 here. Okay. Well, HG looks strong. Queen G7. That could be annoying. Queen F6 first attacking the rook. For HG might be better. Queen G7. Or there's Queen C7 here. Attacking the rook, threatening HG. There's no FG. Queen G7 there. G takes F7. Looks crushing. So Queen C7 or Queen C5. And HG just looks for winning. It all looks good. I wonder. Queen F6 first. Let's not spend too much time. Maybe even. I think just HG, then Queen F6, if Queen F7, Queen E8. If Queen G7, does it bear thinking about? What about just Queen C5 or Queen C7? Oh, there's Rook D4 on the cards. Oh, I see. I think getting both rooks on the 7th. If I take, check. There's no Rook D4, there's no panic just yet. So Queen C7 as well. Throwing Queen C7 for G takes. If I want to keep the queens on, which I do. So Queen C7, there's no Rook D4 just yet. Resigns here. Okay. So that seemed quite dangerous, even with the double pawns. It's just this F and G file business seems to come together strangely. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.